I would like to open this video by openly saying that before Death Stranding I was not really a Kojima fan. Yeah, I played Metal Gear Solid, finished 1 and 2 long time ago and I vaguely remember them. I played 3 but never touched 4 and dabbled into the 5. Despite 5 having one of the best opening hours in any video game, that hospital scene is just a crazy roller coaster of weirdness, the game never managed to keep me invested in the long run. But when I saw the trailers for Death Stranding, I was immediately in. I am a sucker for creative, crazy, over-the-top, impossibly weird art direction and world building in video games. It is one of my favorite things. After the Tokyo Game Showcase, I wasn't sure will I like the gameplay of Death Stranding, but I was 100% sure I would love the world and the ideas Kojima put into the game based on the craziness from the trailers. And now with Death Stranding 2 coming pretty soon, I would like to check a little bit back on the previous game, reminisce on it a little bit and speculate and just look what I would like to see from the sequel. Let's get into the details.
Once there was an explosion. A bang which gave birth to time and space.
I was so in from the start that I even watched all the cutscenes, even in the break room. I never complained about Odradek's hand popping up when BTs were close or anything like that. The game's slow pace and aesthetic pulled me in from the first cutscene. Even when my save file got corrupted, probably due to me closing the game while it was saving, which resulted in me losing first 20 hours of gameplay, it didn't feel like a huge loss. I just started back from the beginning. And I don't want to call the game misunderstood or divisive in any way. If you think that walking around and delivering parcels is boring, you're right, it is. But for me and many others it wasn't. And the game was not just about that, it was about so much more beautiful stuff. Love it or hate it, it was an incredibly unique and epic journey across America to reconnect the pieces of society in a magnificent saga, while Sam Porter Bridges, our protagonist, reconnected with people and found his place in the world. There were some meh stuff though, but we will get to that in a second, and it's nothing major, I assure you.
I'm stranded now, Sam. Here on the shore of the Pacific.
She's a bit out of it, bud. I know she'll recognize you.
And the game's story is something I want to reflect on. Kojima definitely has that Kojima style that a lot of people seem to understand. The name alone evokes a certain feeling and imagery in your mind. And the game's main story, the story of Amelie and the extinction, is just that, a proper Kojima. For me, that has become apparent as I played through and finished Death Stranding the first time. And the story of Amelie didn't grab me that much. Sure, there were interesting elements and characters, but the dialogues were kind of weird, and the amount of exposition and complications, lack of understanding sometimes felt too much, and in the end the climax of the story left to be desired. It was hard to understand what the hell was going on and connect to the main plot. But it would totally be unfair to say that I didn't enjoy its weirdness in all of its glory. I mean, that's why I have these, even though they're not that much of a big quality. Still, love them. Love my Cupid. What I could absolutely connect to was Sam's journey. To me, that story, his story and the journey he has gone through was totally worth my time. His slow acceptance of his role and the bonds he created with the people around him and the BB is one of my favorites in video games ever. And the BB plot twist, man, I'm fairly oblivious to the hints if game throws you any, but that ending with Cliff left me speechless. You know that moment where something clicks and you think to yourself, I should have seen this coming. And the whole of Sam's journey and the fantastic cast he meets is further enhanced by the splendid performances and amazing tech behind the Decima engine. At times, I was even weirded out by them, sort of an uncanny feel, where it felt like I was watching an actual recording, but knew it was in a video game. The term walking simulator was thrown all around when the game launched, and as I stated previously, if you hate that, that's absolutely fine. But to me, the game is so much more than that. The whole traverse from A point to B point gets elevated by other systems, the terrain, the cargo, and the balance. And the best of it, it's the asynchronous multiplayer that evolves and gets better and better throughout the whole game. And I love walking in this game. It is a meditative state, lightly considering your goals and paths that you will take, supported by fantastic soundtrack, what of established artists and some of them of talented Ludwig Forssell. Combine that with careful consideration of other players' path and how can you help them, and the feel of the joy of seeing their equipment helping you, and you are in for a treat. But walking around is occasionally interrupted by some armed militia or beach things, or short known for BTs, and that's where I have some mixed feelings. Or maybe not that mixed, because I love them, but my first encounters with BTs or mules, the militia, were excellent, tense-driven encounters. Your kit is limited at the beginning and you are not sure how to deal with them, and if you fail, what kind of consequences await you. With Sam's increased capabilities, the problem solving in these encounters becomes easier, but that is not all. You start to realize what little threat they are possessing in the first place. And I have heard that the game is not about difficulty, but more about the slowness and the tedium of these encounters. But it didn't feel like that to me. See, I found it odd, all this talk about threats of ending humanity and no one can do this except you, but it seemed pretty easy, even on hard difficulty. It was puzzling how other people couldn't do this job. I was never properly challenged by the BTs or the mules, and towards the end of the game I was just driving recklessly on my bike or car through the BT territories, because I knew even if I got caught, I would just rush out of the black tar area and be good. Sure, I wouldn't get the S rating, but rare missions would compromise my cargo to the point where I could fail. And I wanted to be challenged a little bit more, or maybe fail a little bit more occasionally. This kind of reminded me of that scene in the Last of Us TV show Season 1 where Joel and Ellie trekked across the country to meet the Fireflies and they finally talk to Marlene, and Marlene is like in wonders how they even managed to survive, because she had a whole platoon of armed soldiers with her and they barely made it through. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I just watched the show, they were like easily trekking across the land, what are you talking about? And that is basically my only small complaint about the game. Maybe with greater focus on combat in the sequel, that's what at least the trailer suggested, that could be elevated a bit. And I mean, the style of Kojima's storytelling could be considered weaker, but even if with its faults, I kinda like it. It's definitely enhanced by the weirdness and crazy stuff to the point where I just keep on it more. I would just like to be able to understand what the hell is going on a little bit and not read through pages and pages of emails and data logs. Love it or hate it, Death Stranding is absolutely unique experience. It's a game like anything else that I have ever played. There is something satisfying about stumbling across this lonely, broken world and gradually improving and making a difference. And now the sequel is coming. And God knows what Kojima is cooking this time. But we did get a glimpse of it in the trailers. So let's talk about that for a minute.
And then came the next explosion.
There are so many questions these trailers ask, or we ask. So the characters, new and returning, some were expected to be here, but some returns are surprising, and Higgs is back on the menu, boys. I loved Higgs in the first game and frankly wish to know more about him, so I hope we will get to find out more about our God particle. And he must be connected to the new cult somehow, the Red Robes factions that does Kojima only knows what. And the ensemble of new characters look cool and interesting, but I'm most intrigued by the Dollman. No doubt there is going to be some kind of beach chiral transcendent explanation for him, and we will probably love it. Gameplay also seems elevated. We see the avalanche and sort of a storm in the trailer. Imagine if the avalanche is a dynamic event that can happen depending on your activities. Or if you kill too many enemies and the timefall occurs more often, creating floods that wash away the terrain. In the first game you already possessed great tools to change the landscape of America greatly. If the weather can do that too, that could be crazy. Also the art and the visuals. And I'm not talking about the graphical fidelity, but the scenery and the atmosphere. I mean, just look at these snippets from the trailer, they're fucking gorgeous. Also the story elements. What the hell is going on with Lou, Higgs and everyone else? Are we going to get more insight into the BB stuff? This new faction, what are they cooking? Did Luca Marinelli's character work with them? And what is his deal? Is he the next Cliffhanger? I would love to see if there is some kind of other story and gameplay elements to him. I just don't want to call him Cliff 2.0. And why the hell is the game called On the Beach? Are we in for the merging of the worlds? Is that why we shouldn't have connected? I have so many questions, and I hope Kojima gives us all the answers, because I must know. In the first game, Kojima explored ideas like life, death, and connections. The sequel seems to be going sort of in an opposite direction. Have we even tried? Is the world worth it? And if it is, what needs to be done to accomplish that? I will surely need to watch few Death Stranding 2 explain videos after the game, but for me that is all part of the process. And in the end I'm really looking forward to Death Stranding. It is one of my most anticipated games of the year, and I already know this is a very strong contender for the game of the year for me personally. I just cannot wait to see what's going on in this game. And if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and click down things down below, leave a comment. What do you think about the first game, and are you anticipating the second as much as I do? Well, I'll see you next time, and as always, again, thank you for watching.